think of this country now. Is there another like it? But Brother Jerome, you haven't put an end to suffering. There's still murders, robberies. Well, even now, while we're talking, people are starving, suffering that man was meant to endure, Mr. Ellington. We cause most of our own griefs. We need no help from him. No, Mr. Ellington. It is the unnatural catastrophes, the great wars, the overwhelming pestilence, the wholesale sinning that we have stopped. Yes, I believe you, brother. Do you truly? Yes, I admit I was doubtful at first, but you've convinced me. Absolutely. I promise to keep your secret. Good, my son. Tomorrow, if you're well enough, you may leave. In the meantime, Brother Christophus will look after you. Please, Mr. Ellington, go directly to his room. Okay, good night, brother. So then Mr. Ellington leaves out in an attempt to go to Christophus' room. But somehow he makes his way back to that cell where that man is in there. And as he walks over to the cell, the man looks at him and he says, "He lied to you, didn't he? I can see that." "What did he say?" "Well, he said that you were the devil." The devil? Oh, that's good. That's wonderful. What a dream for an old devil. To catch the devil and lock him up. Well, you don't believe him, do you? Well, of course not. Then help me, Mr. Ellington. Look here, why don't I just go and get the authorities? No, man. It'll be my death warrant. The authorities will return to find nothing. Oh, Jerome is mad, but he's shrewd too. And then there's this big old arm lands on old Ellington's shoulder and says, "Brother Jerome was fearful that you might lose your way." It's that Christophus, Brother Christophus. And he said, "Come with me." And Mr. Ellington walks away from the cell, and the man, he just looking all sad. And he takes old man Ellington to this room, and he locks the door, and Ellington says, "Well, what are you locking the door for?" And Brother Christophus says, "For your protection. You're a very sick man, Mr. Ellington. Rest now." So they both go to sleep, But for some reason, Ellington wakes up through the night, sneaks over there toward Christophe, and he gets the key from around his neck, and he sneaks over to the door, opens the door, closes the door, locks Brother Christophus in the door, and he makes his way back over to that cell where that man is in there. And he says to the man, "Yes." And the man, he sees him, and he looks at him. He says something like this: "You've come. Good." And Ellington says, "Well, what is it that you want me to do?" And the man says, "Lift off the wooden boat." And Ellington looks at the man and says, "Is this the only thing that holds you in?" And it's one of those long staffs of truth, And the man says, yes, lift it off, please." And Ellington says, "Well, hell, man, why haven't you done it yourself? You can reach right through the cell. I mean, what the hell wrong with you? You about crazy. These people up in here. Please. There's no time for talk, Mr. Ellington. In the name of mercy. If you fail now, they'll kill us both. Please understand that. Hurry, man." And then Christophe, he wakes up and he looks out and he's like, wait, stop. And then Brother Ellington, he's looking. He's kind of looking around. And Christophe, "Stop, man, stop." And he goes to touch this thing, this staff of truth. And he kind of steps back a little bit, but then he says, no, he touches it, and he removes it. And the man, he opens the door. And now let me say this right here. When that man opened the door, he was barefooted. He was, all tatted and torn. But when he opened the door, and Ellington didn't even pay attention. As he opened the door, Ellington They gave him something that he had, some clothing or something, I don't know, a robe, or I don't know what the hell it was. And he said, take this to Storm, and Ellington can start walking ahead. But as the man walked out, he stepped out of that cell, and he had a look on his face. Now, let me ask you this now, people, let's start with the fellas. Fellas, you know how it is when you finally get with a woman that you've been wanting to get with for a very long time. And she finally gonna let you in it. That look, remember that look you had? Ladies, I don't want to leave y'all out. Remember when you finally was with that man that you loved all your life? The man that you knew was the one, and he finally got down on his knees to propose. And that look that you had on your face at that moment, this is the look that this man had as he stepped out of the cell. And as he stepped out of the cell, he stretched his hand out towards Mr. Ellington. And with his mind, he did something. And it grabbed Mr. Ellington, and it took his body, and his body slumped down to the floor. It looked like Mr. Ellington had lost all control of his bowels. And as he laid on the floor, he was still looking. And while he was looking, the man walked past him. He did something with his beard, his eyes. They pierced. And as the man was walking past Mr. Ellington, he began to transform into something demonic. Horns became to go on. Every time as you saw him walking, the music, that Twilight Zone music. And the devil, he was walking, and he was turning into the devil. Oh my God, he was turning into Lucifer. Oh my God, he was turning. It's like every time he stepped, he turned, and he transformed into the devil himself. He turned, and he took the cape, and even the cape looked brand new. and he took the cape, and he flapped it around him, and he looked at Ellington, and poof, a puff of smoke. He was gone. And I mean, he was gone. And as soon as he disappeared, it seemed like whatever hold it was that had Ellington there released, and Ellington slumped down to the ground. And Brother Jerome and the brothers of Brother Jerome, all those brothers, they all came running out into the castle there, looking quite sadly. And Brother Jerome, he just kneeled down at Mr. Ellington, and he said, I'm sorry for you, my son. All of your life, you will remember this night, and you will know Mr. Ellington, whom you have turned loose upon the world. And Mr. Ellington looked at Brother Jerome and said, I didn't believe you. I saw him, and I didn't recognize him. Brother Jerome said, that is man's weakness and Satan's strength. And as Mr. Ellington and Brother Jerome just looked up, Mr. Ellington said to whoever he was talking to in that room, he said, and at that moment, it was at that moment that I decided to spend the rest of my life tracking him down to recapture the evil that I released, the evil that soon took the shape of the Second World War. The Korean War, the hideous new weapons of war. I swore I'd find him again, as Brother Jerome had done. Oh, it took me many years, but I did it. You see, I have him there now. He's pointing at a room and a little baby staff of truth that's bolted the room. We don't know what's in that room, but that's what he's pointing at. And then you see this old white woman looking all crazy like. Ellington is talking to her. He said, so you understand now. You understand why you must under no circumstances go near that door. You see how important this is that he stay locked up. Female shaking her head. Oh yeah, Mr. Ellington, yes, oh yes. And Mr. Ellington looked at it and said, very good. Listen, I'm sending him back to Brother Jerome. Yes, he'll do a little bit of howling. But pay no attention to that. It's a trick. Oh, I know. Yes, I know it's a trick. Look, I must go now. I have preparations to make. I'll be back in just, oh my God. I'll be back in just a few minutes. Please, in the name of God, don't go near that door. Please, please, don't go near that door. I'll be right, only a few minutes, I'll be right back. Do you understand? She said, yes, I understand, Mr. Ellington. And then he left. And as he left, as he walked out, there was this, oh! And the lady, she was looking. Oh my God, what was that? She went over towards the door. And she put a hand up there to the little staff of truth. And she removed it. And the door opened. That's all you saw was the door open. And as the door opened, you heard Rod Serling say something like this. Ancient folk saying, you can catch the devil, but you can't hold him long. Ask Brother Jerome. Ask David Ellington. They know, and they'll go on knowing to the ends of their days and beyond in the Twilight Zone. Whew.